Welcome back for another video. It's Erbad, and in today's video, we have 9 minutes left of the boosted summons. We do actually have to do this Champion Chase tournament, I think. There's too many points here available to risk not doing it. So far, I've skipped 30 points from Dragon, and I'm going to be skipping another 30 points from Spider, which I haven't bothered doing. I'm going to do more detailed deep dive into the Winter's Path in a subsequent video. But right now, I wanted to record this video first. I was actually going to do the Winter's Path video before the summoning video, but we have 8 minutes left in boosted rates, so I want to get at least this part of the video done now. Maybe I'll end up just kind of combining it into one video later. I don't know yet. We'll find out. Right, let's just quickly jump over to the spreadsheet, and I am actually going to make this spreadsheet available. I'm going to keep adding tabs to it. So far, I've got the regearing analysis and now the summons, and it's got my Winter's Path analysis, which, like I said, I'll talk about in a subsequent video. But if we just jump right into this particular tab, we have the rates that on a champion chase, the points you get per champion type, or rarity rather, for non-void and void, drop rates during 2x, and then using that we've got a idea of what we would get doing a 2x under champion chase and a 10x under summon rush, and now obviously the new kind of boosted rate 15x summon rush progressive, which changes things slightly because they've been boosting the ancient shard value recently. And then we have the Hero's Path, which it depends on what they do, but this is a kind of normalized value where I've basically equated, if I remember correctly, the Sacred was worth 2,500, so it's essentially just dividing the values by 5 to get a normalization to be able to compare it to a summon rush, as they essentially operate like a summon rush. You can see here we had the summon rush during the Yuletide last weekend, and this was the analysis that I did. And basically, I went full ancients in the end, and I did do all of it. But now if we look at the champion chase in the Yuletide one, the breakpoints are 4,200, 5,500, 7,000, and 9,000. And if we jump back into the game very quickly and have a look at what those actually would give us, basically 4,200 points is enough to get all the snow points. 5,500 then gives a legendary book, 7,000 for a mythical, and 9,000 for an eternal. So now we know what those rewards are. Let's have a look at the expected shard cost. Obviously, there is variability in this. It's not a summon rush. It depends on RNG. But approximately, we'd be looking at around 79, 80 shards to satisfy the 4,200 points during a 2x ancient event. And then you'd need another 25 beyond that if you wanted to get the legendary tome, another 28 to get the mythical, another 37 to get the eternal. So overall, looking at this, and with the context that I went pretty deep into the last event and used, like 200 ancient shards, I'm just going to get the 4,200. I could understand people who maybe want to get the legendary book for 104, but I feel like this gets quite expensive. A single mythical and the eternal, all in for around 170 shards, and it could even be more. At least last time, I also got an eternal, but 2 mythical books and 2 legendary books. So I feel like, in terms of sort of best value, I feel like it's just get the 4,200 and move on. But everyone should do what they feel is right, and that's my little analysis on it, and I hope it will help inform what you want to do. If we go back in here, we still have 2 minutes of boosted rates on Elva. I do actually have Elva, but I wouldn't mind getting a second. So we have 590 points. It's also worth keeping a track of what we've got. We did hit gold, and it's a dupe Rathmatab. Anyone who's watched a lot of my shard summons recently knows I summon a lot of dupes. 820, that's another good number of points. Are we going to get another gold? No, 3 epics. None of them useful. All right, so let's keep a track of, like I said, of the points we've got. We're at 1410. Now we just did another 580. That's 1990. So we've got a good rate so far. Anyone useful here? We'll check if we got any of the Mikage fusions later. But maybe Indalia is in that. I can't actually remember. In any case, we're at 2570 so far, motoring along. I missed the number of points, so 340, very bad pull. 2910, and so far we've summoned 50 shards. That is, yeah, Ankrite. Ankrite's not a bad champion, but you know, we just want points here. 340, another bad 10 pull there, single epic. You already know what it is as soon as you see the points. You know if it's low, it's a bad pull. 580. That's probably 2 epics. And none of them are particularly useful. So I believe we're at 3830 after 70 shards. So we're going to do the final. This should be the final 10 pull we need. 2020. What? That's an insane number of points. What the hell kind of 10 pull is that? Okay, well, I said I was only going to get 4,200. But then that happened. Elfrig is actually really important. Both Lugan and Gamaran aren't good, but they are both new. I don't know. That's a crazy, crazy pull. Anyway, yeah. We got 3 legendaries in the 80 shards, which is completely insane. And none of them were over. So, you know, all these boosted rates, they never seem to really pan out, or very infrequently. But yeah, that is actually put us quite a lot higher than I had expected. We got 6110 from that, and I think the rest came from mystery shards, which I've been doing during champion training for Winter's Path. I do have to now ponder a little bit about, can I get to this without actually expending much resources? And I probably can, to be honest, because I'll probably do another couple hundred through mystery shards anyway, and then just getting 500 from ancient shards is basically another 10 pull at that point. Well, estimated to be another 10 pull, like we just saw. Sometimes there's variability in that, but I mean, other than the crazy final 10 pull we got, we're pretty much coasting along perfectly for it to be 80 shards. But yeah, like I said, there is a degree of variability, and there is definitely luck involved. We just quickly see who's new. Like I said, Lugan is new, but not particularly useful. And we've got another new one here. Durandil is new. I think Durandil might be part of Mikage. And Gumaran is also new. Quite rare for me to get new champions these days, so that's kind of cool. We go and have a look at the fusion itself. We have a copy of Venomage. Isn't that Venomage? No, it's not. It's what do you call him? I used him loads in the free to play challenge. Elfrig is nice to have a copy of, because I'd like to be able to do that. Ashmo I don't have. No, none of these. We need an Ender. I do have one of those. I've got one of most. I'm only really missing 3 here. Still missing a Lumberer. I've pulled like so many shards now. At least we've got these going. So I've got a copy now of this chap here. And then we've got the 4 here. So we're slowly making progress. We will eventually get Mikage. A few more good 2x ancient or guaranteed ancient event, and we'll be there. But we have now absolutely annihilated our stockpile of ancient shards. 280 ancient shards in basically 7 days. And that, for me, is why I have been saving, is when they do events that put me in a position where I want to be summoning, that I'm able to do so. And I prefer just to know that I can, at least for now. If they do too many, then even these resources will be spent. So we'll see. Anyway, that will be all for this video. I will do another video where I go into detail on the Winter's Path. Or should I just do it now? Maybe I'll just do it now. I don't think there's too much to really say on it, so let's just do it in this video. Winter's Path, basically, there is a variability in terms of reward. We've got all the snow points that we probably want to get the majority of, and we got 3 ways of actually getting the points. We need to upgrade champions, basically a champion training, dungeon divers, and then summoning souls from soul stones. Now, if we go back into our spreadsheet and we have a look at the Winter's Path analysis that I've done here, let me see if I can get this onto a single page. I probably just need to zoom out a tiny bit. It's not quite fully. I need to go a little bit less zoomed. There we go. Now you can basically see it all in one screen. Enough anyway. I've basically summarized it as there's really 5 different categories that you could do. I would definitely not advise doing all paths. I would say most people who are doing Torment anyway, should go for at least the gold path, which gets all of the snow points in the rows 4, 6, 7, and I think that's 10, right? It gets one of the 50 down here, so you only lose out on 50 points, and that's only 31,300 points, which, given that this is basically like a champion training with a few other sources, is not too bad. Like, that's quite achievable over, I think it was like a 5-day event or 4-day event or something. It was a reasonably long event. I think we've still got 2 days left, and I think we started 2 days ago, so it must have been a 4-day event. Anyway, clearly losing my mind. But and I think if you do a little bit more work, you could get the orange, which is reasonably good value. You can see we get basically we end up by going on the orange side, we pick up an extra void shard here, and the points here. I mean, the void shard is completely optional, obviously because we already unlocked these, but I just thought for 5,000, the void shard actually looked like pretty good value. And I would probably rate the void shard higher than a 6-star speed glyph, because the 6-star speed glyph will just roll 3 anyway. So at least this is guaranteed points. So that's what I did as the orange. And then if you've got a lot more points, I quite like the green nodes, particularly, like 200 gems here. Looks like pretty good value to me. 75 oil here is actually fantastic. I would probably rate that. Actually, in retrospect, I'd rate that higher than the void shard. So maybe let's just swap that over. Make that green. Make that. There you go. Beautiful. Look, live editing. I don't even need to change the points because they're worth the same. But it depends on where you are in the game. I'd say maybe for early mid-game players, that void shard's worth a lot more. But for end-game players, this 75 oil is worth considerably more than a void shard, in my opinion. It's quite a lot of energy to get that amount of tier 3 oil from Sand Devil. Then, we always say legendary tomes are good value, or something that people want, and they're not horrifically priced here. But this bottom stuff is just crazy prices. The amount you'd have to pull or train to get down here is really insane. So I've called it the Kraken tier. And then like the tier in between, there's a few extra bits like that speed glyph, like the primal shard, and the tier 2 oil, which isn't as valuable. I've said, if you had additional points, you could do that, but I've kind of tried to rank the rewards in a methodical way-ish, at least my opinion on them. So depending on how many points you end up with, this is roughly the distribution I would pick. And I'm probably going to try and get somewhere between the gold and the orange. If I can get up to all of the orange, that'd be great. We'll see. We'll see kind of how I end up managing it. And in terms of that, let's jump back into the game. And I've got 17,000 right now. So my intent on this is to get to, sorry, I need to click back, to get to like the final 24 hours and then kind of make a judgment on how I'm going to get the additional points. So like I've got quite a lot of tavern work that I can do. If we go through, there's like all of this food kind of ready. So there's a bit of flipping to be done, a bit more campaign work to be done there and up here. So there's plenty of opportunities. And then I do have quite a lot of soul stones to be summoned, but I want to get a rough idea of how many I actually need to summon to reach the objectives I want to. So I'm waiting to summon towards the end of the event rather than the beginning. So anyway, we'll probably do those summons in another video, the soulstone stuff, once we've got visibility on how many points we need to get. So once again, thanks for watching. Please do like, comment, and subscribe. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.